Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. As always, likes, comments, and subscriptions are greatly appreciated as they do help with the algorithm. And a very big thank you to every single person out there who has purchased an NFT of mine. I release a new one every single day. For those of you who are interested, there is a link in the description below. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. We are currently in the midst of what I would like to believe is a possible good move for the cryptocurrency space. Today was a very particular day. You know how normally we'll get news that is like price news that is solely focused on altcoins, or sometimes it's like 9 articles just about Ethereum. Today was just about Bitcoin. For those of you who are not looking at the screen, it says Bitcoin prints bullish pattern. Why close above $35,000 is crucial. Bitcoin price prediction. Bitcoin steps out. Eyes on the $40,000 target. Bitcoin looks ready for a big move. This was said by on-chain analyst William Clemente. This one says Bitcoin is entering first major volatility squeeze since April. Big move coming. They all had the exact same news, roughly around the exact same idea. Is that Bitcoin and the wider cryptocurrency market look like as if no one knows that we could potentially see a major price bump in Bitcoin's price. The idea being the last couple of months were basically a reaccumulation period by some of the largest whales on the planet, or just in general within the cryptocurrency space. We've had at least 10 times over the last 2 months news that every single time we had a major dip. So if Bitcoin was at 35,000 and we went back down to 31,000, what have you, that basically whales were buying up tens of thousands of Bitcoin on basically a daily basis. A lot of analysts I've been looking at, I usually try to myself stay away from like price news myself. I'll read normal news, but price news usually isn't a thing that I kind of focus on just because I'm here for the very long term. But a lot of people have been saying that it's clear that like even like a day or two ago, we should have seen some actual like major movements in the market. Not really much more to say. It's more of a, this is what's going around. This is kind of the idea of what's taking place in the space right now. On top of this, this is also very popular news and it kind of ties directly into it. You might have already heard about this. It says Grayscale's $550 million GBTC unlock. Analysts question the price effects on Bitcoin. So for those of you who haven't heard, haven't been keeping track, it's not even anything that's actually significantly significant. The idea is that a lot of institutions have been using Grayscale. Grayscale being the largest custodier of Bitcoin on the planet. And the idea is if you want access or gain exposure to Bitcoin, you buy their GBTC shares of the company, and therefore you then own fractions of Bitcoin. And this is why it's always significant when we get news that a company has purchased, 5 million shares at one time. They own a huge amount of Bitcoin. The idea is, I think it says it's somewhere around here, every 6 months, there's like an unlocking. It's basically to stop people from if you buy 1 month, let's say you buy in April, you can't simply just resell in May. They give you like a 6-month window to be able to have these coins become unlocked once again. It says Grayscale's biggest single day shares unlocking of 16,240 Bitcoin is almost here. What impact will the event have on Bitcoin's price? Depending on which corner you are standing in or who you're actually looking at, there are a lot of negative Nancy's out there who are basically saying that this is going to be detrimental for Bitcoin's price. It's not. The idea is that as these coins unlock, they think or expect that institutions could, as they do have the right to, sell off their shares and therefore sink the price of Bitcoin. The liquidity that we have in the market right now is strong enough that we would be able to sustain a $550 million sell-off, and at the same exact time, there are still tons of buy orders who would also absorb this. The other point to be made, the third point, is that institutions already know these things. We keep getting news like this, and I'm pretty sure it's just to kind of once again scare people out of the market who are relatively new to the market. A lot of these things are already either priced in, or institutions know that there could possibly be the effect of an institution or institutions selling off their Bitcoin that they have from Grayscale. So they are waiting in the wings. If you choose to sell those, we are going to be buying. So it's kind of the same exact thing from the Mt. Gox thing that we've been hearing since 2015, that once these coins are given back to the original owners, that these people are going to sell. For those of you who missed those videos in 2019, the institutions already know that when the people from Mt. Gox actually get their coins back, whenever that might be in the next 10, 12, 13, 15 years, they're already buyers on the sidelines who know that they're going to sell and have come to them and said, if you sell to us. We'll give you the best price. It never hits a cryptocurrency exchange. We want to buy Bitcoin anyway. It comes to us. So this is happening, I believe, on the 18th. It shows it somewhere around here. I think the 18th. I like how they barely even said the actual date that this is going to happen and instead are trying to make people more afraid that this is going to happen. I think it's happening the 18th of this month. It'll come and go. We might have a price drop. Who knows? Because there are always people who end up selling in anticipation or thinking that other people are also going to be afraid and selling. And then we'll get news about a day and a half later that someone else bought up all those coins and they'll go, oh no, I wish I never sold my Bitcoin. So that's all the price news. The time of me making this video, the prices are going up right now across the market. There are people who are afraid, but it's people make themselves afraid of so many different things. Like why did you, if you never knew that Grayscale thing was going to happen, would you be afraid? No. Someone told you that you had to be afraid because these coins might hit the market. These institutions aren't buying with Grayscale to go, I think we should sell in 6 months. No, that's not how they're. Anyway, that's the price news. And let's move on. Next up, according to a report from the 11th of July, the Korean Economic Daily said the group's banking unit, Woori Financial Group, has become the latest major South Korean financial institution to announce that it will launch a digital asset custody service. The bank is partnering with Bitcoin-based fintech solution firm CoinPlug to establish a digital asset custody joint venture dubbed D-Custody, like a 90s rapper. CoinPlug will be D-Custody's largest shareholder, followed by Woori Bank. The joint venture is expected to be incorporated in the coming weeks. Existing Korean legislation maintains that domestic entities are not allowed to access the services of cryptocurrency exchanges, meaning the country's banks can only enter the crypto market via joint ventures. Regulators are just... It's so stupid. It keeps happening over and over. Why not make exceptions? Why not make it so that it's not? But I mean, whatever. It always has to do with money. I'm trying not to make this a ranty day, but there's a lot of ranty news, and it's revving my engines up. The point is, there's another gigantic Korean bank who is going to be custodying cryptocurrency. For those of you who have not been paying attention, every single major bank on the planet is custodying or plans on custodying cryptocurrencies for their clients. At the moment, most banks are just doing it for their institutional investors, like the rich of the rich of the rich of the rich. This will trickle down to the normies as time ends up going on, which I already told you. I give it about a year or two. Every major bank will have this established at some point, and they'll be able to tell you, hey, you can hold your cryptocurrencies with us, and it'll kind of go down to the lower banks after that as well. Here's the actual news report for it from the Korea Economic Daily. It says Korea banks enter digital asset custody market in series. Wonderful. This isn't surprising news. This happens every single day, all the time in the cryptocurrency space. A lot of people don't take notice to it anymore. I'm not sure if it's because like, oh, it's a bank. Who cares what the banks are doing? But understand the banks are here. The banks are buying up cryptocurrencies. The banks are not custodying these assets without not holding them for themselves. Always keep that in mind. This is not being done because, oh, the bank is really nice. They want to hold my assets. No, they're going to charge a monthly fee. They're also holding these assets themselves. The banks would not be into cryptocurrencies if they thought that they were going to fade away in 5 years. They know that they're here to stay. They're accumulating them for themselves. And they're probably some of the whales who are buying as they scare you to get out of the market. Anyway, that's the Woori Bank entering the... I don't know why there's like a digital ant holding up a bank. I don't think ants are that strong. Unless that's like a gigantic robotic ant. I say stuff into the microphone sometimes and I forget that the microphone is there. Anyway, that's the Woori Bank news. And let's move on. Also in news that is kind of like, sure, why not? You know what, girl, go for it. Why the heck not at this point? U.S. Senator Elizabeth Warren has published a letter to the SEC asking the regulatory body to confront the potential risks of cryptocurrency and answer questions about current regulation. Depending on which article you actually look at, they either made her look like a hero or a complete villain. Now, I think it's somewhere roughly in the middle. This is a very gray area. But what she's doing is actually necessary, but a lot of people who don't agree with her probably at all, or don't agree with what she said, are making her out to be this absolute monster. But what she said, like, actually has to be done. So just listen for half a second. In a statement related to her letter, Warren noted, while demand for cryptocurrencies and the use of cryptocurrency exchanges have skyrocketed, the lack of common sense regulations has left ordinary investors at the mercy of manipulators and fraudsters. See, it's making some sense there. Warren's letter observes that in a 5-month period, 7,000 people reported a total of $80,000 in losses from crypto scams. That statistic was based on a report from the FTC published in May. She added that even legitimate crypto investments came with risk. Warren demanded that the U.S. SEC comment on certain matters by the 28th of July. Whether cryptocurrency exchanges are operating fairly, the problem of jurisdictional gaps, the legality of decentralized exchanges in DeFi, and the extent of the SEC's own authority. Working backwards, the SEC thinks they control everything. And this is a major problem. And this was even more of an issue in 2017 and 2018, where people were trying to get control of the cryptocurrency market. And the SEC and the CFTC, that is the Futures Trading Commission. Yeah, CFTC? No. Yeah, commodities. Basically came together and they were trying to say which cryptocurrency was this, and I control this and I control that. And this is why we still have this stupid discussion of what a security is and what is not a security. They released a paper-long guideline in 2019 or 2020 basically saying what a security was and what they consider, but it didn't say which coins explicitly. You didn't tell anybody what exactly is going on. So the fact that I hope this actually works, she gave them an ultimatum and basically said, please tell us, how far does your reach go? Stop saying that you control everything in the cryptocurrency space when you don't. As far as the legality of decentralized exchanges and DeFi, these are going to be deemed illegal, or that the people who are making these DeFi platforms have to go to some centralized authority and basically say, hey, I'm decentralized, but please centralize me. It's not going to happen. I don't know how to really sugarcoat that in any other way, or how to make it nice for regulators. The people who are making these DeFi exchanges have figured out how to use code, how to use a computer to actually have proper consensus, and this is the security of the actual networks. As more people get into the whatever, the point is the legality is going to be null. We are going to be told relatively soon that all these decentralized exchanges and DeFi platforms, Unicorn, Apple, blah, 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 all these other letters and animals, are going to have to go to the SEC and register with them, which is not going to happen, which is also going to cause another issue. But at least the focus will be taken off the actual cryptocurrency market and it'll be put on the DeFi exchanges, which are never going to actually get control over. The jurisdictional gaps have to do mainly with Binance. Is that she drew attention to Binance, which is currently facing regulatory blocks in the United Kingdom. She observed that Binance operates worldwide but has no base of operations. It's because we're in the future, because everything is on a computer now and we don't have to sit in an office. I don't know how to make this any clearer, and I know that she knows that. I'm going to assume that she has enough, and this is not me being mean, that she has enough capacity to understand what the internet is, how the internet works, and that you do not have to have an actual office anymore to have an actual business. I have businesses that I actually run from my home, or I can pick up my computer and I can go, this is me, I can go somewhere else in the world and I can still run my business. That's how the world actually works now. So the issue that they have is that Binance is so large and so well known, it is expected to have a corner shop somewhere where letters can get sent to it, because I'm pretty sure they're sending so many things to Binance, but there's no actual physical location to Binance, and this is probably the actual problem that they're having. It's all about money. They want to know, and especially also it has to do with the fact that we live in a world where in the past, if you were a mega entity, let's say there's TMI Core, and I started operations in the United States, but I wanted to move into Ireland. Well, I had to open up an actual physical location in Ireland. I wanted in South Africa, etc. I have 15 places around the actual world. The issue is that I have to pay proper taxes in each country. I have to file proper paperwork and all these other things to be able to work in these countries. But that's not how the world works anymore. And once again, I know that they know that, but this is not how they want it to work. They want it to be the old way. They want Binance to have 38 offices around the world so that each individual country can point a finger at them and say, you did this wrong. But that's not going to actually happen. The letter explains that Congress may need to give the SEC authority to close regulatory gaps depending on the SEC's answers. So this is being thrown around, and the only reason why I slightly commend this and I say, yeah, sure, why not do it, is because I'm tired of saying the words SEC. I'm tired of talking about the SEC. I'm tired of bringing up the SEC as the reason why things aren't happening in the cryptocurrency space. I'm tired of talking about the SEC with the Bitcoin ETF. I'm tired of talking about the SEC with Ripple. I'm tired of talking about the SEC for cryptocurrency exchanges. I'm tired of talking about every single thing rolls back to the SEC. If you have so much power, please tell us exactly how much power you have so that we can officially all move on. If you control Ripple, please tell us that you control Ripple and XRP and that everything else like that. Stop waiting forever. No one has time for it anymore. You're an old, outdated company that no one cares about you. No one cares about the actual SEC. And part of the problem is that every single time, and this was even spoken about years ago when I first got into the cryptocurrency space, and I did not understand it, and I completely understand it now. We have computers to be able to give us rules and regulations, and everything kind of fits into this DeFi, decentralized cryptocurrency blockchain kind of thing. We are seeing people move in mass from centralized exchanges to decentralized platforms, and this is only going to continue as more decentralized cryptocurrency exchanges are actually built on these other platforms, on top of Cardano, on top of Ethereum, and even on side chains on top of Bitcoin. There's no need for these regulations, in part simply because we don't actually need them anymore. What we do need is to make sure that people aren't being, fleeced out of their money and stuff like that. But that's for the SEC to actually take care of, and not to say that they control everything within the cryptocurrency space. That's why I agree with her, because I would also love to know by the 28th of July, how much power do you have? Because you keep telling us that you have all this energy, but you've given us no regulations. It's been 5 years. You're scaring the market on purpose to try and bring the prices down. But besides that, you've done nothing. So that's the Senator Warren news. The SEC needs to regulate volatile crypto markets. What exactly does Elizabeth Warren want the SEC to do about crypto exchanges? What's this one? Why Senator Warren gave SEC deadline to clarify crypto regulations? Because they're taking forever, and I'm pretty sure she's also sick of it as well. But not much will come from this. I assume that Binance will probably make one physical location. I think they have a space in the United States because the US would not let them do anything. I assume the UK will continue being the UK and will try to stop them from having actual operations. But once again, we live in the future. Everyone has a computer. People can get onto a plane and they fly around, and there's no need for an actual office anymore. And I hope that the young people now, when they get older and they are into office, whatever office they might be in the future, that they understand that, that's how the internet and technology works. Because I'm tired of hearing the people who have been in power for the last 25 years being like, well, why isn't everything like the 1960s? I don't understand why things aren't the same. Really? Anyway, that was also it wasn't popular news, but it was infamously all over the place news. Sure. Why not? Next up, I wasn't expecting this to happen, but I guess it makes total sense because everyone's trying to do it. Crypto startup Bullish has announced its plans to go public on the New York Stock Exchange as it gets ready to launch a cryptocurrency exchange. The Bullish exchange aims to be a revolutionary, regulated cryptocurrency exchange that offers deep, predictable liquidity for investors to generate yield from their digital assets. Bullish announced its plans to go public on the New York Stock Exchange Friday through a merger with Far Peak Acquisition Corporation. Far Peak is a special purpose acquisition company. Bullish, which debuted in May, detailed everything I just said up there. They want to make people money. Bullish Exchange is operated by Bullish Limited, and Jeffries LLC is acting as its exclusive financial advisor and capital markets advisor. For those of you who don't know, Bullish is made by the same people who made EOS. And the news that we had a couple of months ago was that they were making their own cryptocurrency exchange. And if I'm not mistaken, that the exchange would be using EOS. This is what we read in the article. This was months ago. Who knows what it says now? If these people make their own cryptocurrency called Bull, or something like that, it's going to fail. I'm telling you explicitly right now. I don't know how else to really say that. If you use an already established cryptocurrency for this actual thing, the price of the coin will go up. Other people will wonder why it's going up. It's going up because of that cryptocurrency exchange. You're going to use that cryptocurrency exchange. The price of the coin goes up. I have a very strange feeling. Same exact thing with Voice. That platform that they're now making an NFT platform because they were trying to make a crypto Twitter, and it just did not work out because they had a brand new token as opposed to just using EOS. If they make a bullish token, it's not going to work out. The news is that they went through like a merger acquisition. So basically, if you yourself want to go public, basically what happens is, imagine, nope, that's a weird thing to say. It's basically a larger company absorbs you, and therefore you are now owned by that larger company. It's simplified terms, and therefore you are also allowed to go public because you are already with a company that is already public, if that makes any sense. They have all the paperwork, and therefore you absorb all the paperwork as well that allows you to be able to go public. So every single entity within the cryptocurrency space right now is trying to go public. I do not think it's going to work out for a lot of them, but bless their hearts for actually trying. This one says, Block 1 subsidiary bullish to go public after $9 billion SPAC merger. Sure. Go for it. We'll see what actually ends up taking place. And I was going to say the word bullish, and I think that's why they use it as well. I was going to say I'm slightly optimistic. There we go. That's the word I'll use. Slightly optimistic that this will actually work, but it has to. The people who created EOS, they had the largest ICO on the planet. They raised $4 billion. $4 billion. I think even when Ethereum had their ICO, I think it raised like 100 million, maybe even if that much. Like it was barely even a huge amount of money. I think it was well less than $100 million. So anyway, sure. We'll see how this works out. Everyone's trying to go public. It's Coinbase. Ripple announced that they're trying to go public. Kraken, I believe, is trying to go public. Exodus Wallet is trying to go public. Everyone's trying to go public in their own way. It's how you get extra money, yada, yada, yada. I think it would be just great if people just stayed in their own lane and were content with making $45 million per year, but everybody wants to make the billions and stuff like that, and it won't work out for a lot of them. So good for them. Let's see if this works out. Let's see if they actually are still going to be using EOS, because I'm telling you, I already know it's going to fall apart really bad if this company raised $4 billion to make EOS and they keep making 19 other tokens. It's not going to work out. Anyway, that's the bullish Block 1 merger news. Let's move on. Next up, in news that was also everywhere news, and I need to explain why. So for those of you who don't know, very, very quick, have you heard of like high frequency trading? You must have, where basically robots are trading, 90,000 times per second, back and forth. Wow, that's amazing. What happens is that these robots are also programmed to read articles. What happens is that when an article comes out, the robots actually read it before you, and they make their trades based off of the sentiment that they're actually reading in said article. If it's full of negative words, they begin to trade negatively, and therefore they assume that other people are going to read this news, and therefore prices are going to go down. If a lot of the news surrounding Bitcoin is bullish, Bitcoin's price is going to go up, Bitcoin's price is going to spike, Bitcoin's price is going to $50, $60, $70, $80,000. Bitcoin's price will begin to go up, especially if the consensus. Now, this is not how all major bots work, but it's usually how the biggest players in the space usually get their bots to trade. They go off of public sentiment, off of what they believe that the articles are also saying, and other movements in the market. If it looks like the market is going to move up, the bots will begin to trade up. The news over the last day and a half was that, for those of you who are not looking at the screen, it says TikTok is banning influencers from promoting cryptocurrencies. This was all over the place. And I read this the first time from a couple of different websites, and I was like, wow, that's actually kind of weird. And then I realized, actually, it's not. First of all, backing it up, for those of you who do not know, you know the country who owns TikTok? It's not the USA. It's the other one. The other one who always is blocking stuff and banning stuff in the cryptocurrency space. And I was like, sure, of course they would be actually doing this. And then you dig a bit deeper, and you actually find that these news articles are writing stuff to make you afraid. And the reason why I mentioned the algorithm thing with the robots is because the robots also read this. The robots get the wrong information, and therefore they end up trading negatively for prices as well. It says TikTok has updated their policy on branded content this week. And the social media giant is putting a halt to crypto influencers. And that would have you believe that anyone who is promoting crypto in any sort of way is now banned from the platform. The policy could have implications for creators whose content relies on crypto in broader financial landscapes. While the policy change does have some exceptions, the newly prohibited bucket of content is financial services and products. The category includes, but certainly isn't limited to, topics including crypto, loans and credit cards, trading platforms, forex trading, commemorative coins, investment services, and more. However, TikTok's policy remains the same, which currently allows financial service companies to advertise to people over the age of 18. Despite this, ads for crypto and related services specifically are already prohibited on the platform. So what actually happened is that they're banning people from being paid by companies to promote their coins. They're not banning influencers or people on the platform from talking about cryptocurrencies. They're trying to stop it so that if a company is coming to you, this happens to me every single day. A lot of people used to ask, you must know by now if you've been here for over a year, why I don't do paid promotion. It's because of things like this. What ends up happening is every single day I get around 15 different emails from different companies basically saying, hey, we'll pay you $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a day to promote this coin, to promote this website, to promote this ICO, to promote this platform. The entire spectrum. I've got it before. Other people end up getting these emails and they go, yeah, of course I'll do that. And they go into TikTok and they go into Instagram and they go to these other platforms and they end up promoting these things. They make $5,000 in a day. And at the same exact time, you hear about these coins that are terrible, that are never, ever going to be used. And you end up putting, even if it's just $50, if you have 35,000 people who are putting $50 into this platform, and then it disappears the next day, well, you lost $50, but, these people made millions. The same exact time, it happens over and over and over and over and over. You kind of get the point. So, yeah, the idea is that if you are being paid for this, then that's a no. Because a lot of times these people don't care who they're being paid by. All they know is that they have to say, this is not financial advice, but I made $38 bajillion yesterday and you can too. There's actually some really funny YouTube channels. I don't even know what they're called, but they randomly appeared on my suggested area a day or two ago where these people go through financial help on social media platforms, kind of like dissect what these people are saying. And it's actually really funny, when they go through it, they're like, this person has no idea what they're talking about. There was one, I don't know this woman's name. She was like, yeah, because what happens is the price goes up and I make money. And then you look at it when it turns red and that's when you sell because it's going down and then you could lose money. But at the bottom, it turns green again, and that's when you rebuy. And the people who were critiquing her were like, "Oh my gosh, I've been trading for 25 years, and she broke the code. I totally didn't understand that you buy when it's on green." So a lot of those things are very funny. But the issue is that they were going through her credentials. If you will. Basically, she has a website and an Instagram thing where she's telling you to go to her, use her course, and her course is $2,000 if you want to join, and then another $1,000 for something else. But they were adding up how many that she's actually sold and how many other so-and-so, and she made $3 million in a year. That's a problem. That's a really big issue. If people are giving this woman $3 million who's telling you to buy when it's green and sell when it turns red. So that's why they're banning paid promotions from the platform. See, it makes so much more sense now. Now it's not as scary. It's not as scary as, well, they're just banning everybody from crypto. No, they're trying to make sure that people don't fall into these traps because it's so easy. It happens so often. Remember a couple of months ago, for those of you who were not here, thank your lucky stars. We had a very terrible situation in the cryptocurrency space where people, first of all, this is why people copy me in the comment section. But people were copying other prominent people within the cryptocurrency space, Vitalik Buterin, Bajaj, all these other people, and were basically making these YouTube channels where they were telling other people, hey, if you send me half an ether, I'll give you 5 ether. Now, you would assume, just based off of logic, that nobody would do that. They were making millions every single day. I had a friend of mine, and he sent me a message and was like, is this real? And I said, imagine I'm walking down the street. And I said, hello, good sir. Do you happen to have a $5 bill? And he goes, of course I do. Takes out his $5 bill and I go, here's 100. I said, how many times has that happened to you in your life? He said, never. And I said, you think that someone's asking you for half an ether and then they'll give you 5? And he's like, It's the internet. You never know. And I was like, no, you do know. You know exactly what you're doing. Anyway, the point is, that's the TikTok news. This was all over the place. And this is one of the very few places that actually had the word bans paid promotions. Every other place was TikTok banning crypto. Anyway, that's that news. Let's move on. In news that barely made a dent in news, and I'm actually kind of surprised at this, the Israeli Investment Fund Group, or IIFG, has announced that they have invested a whopping $2.3 billion into Bitcoin. $2.3 billion just into Bitcoin. The venture capital firm based in Tel Aviv and almost in Hong Kong and in Beverly Hills shared a tweet on the 9th of July stating, as part of the portfolio's diversification policy, we have invested $2.3 billion into Bitcoin. It is part of a global strategy to lead Israel to the future of the currency. That's it. That was the news. I found this news, I think, in two places. They invested billions of dollars just into Bitcoin, and people don't take notice, but the news that Elizabeth Warren wants actual regulation and that TikTok is doing something made the news. Not that every single day we keep getting these companies who are throwing billions of dollars into Bitcoin as the price is trending sideways. All the time. It's never the actual important news. I've actually even stopped writing down numbers. I was actually writing down numbers before on the other channel. I was writing all the numbers for how much crypto is actually being acquired. I know that they have all of it. This is why we were getting news before about a supply crunch or a something crunch, where basically people go, oh, there's no Bitcoin left, because they're buying all of it every single day. We keep getting a bank and a hedge fund every single day who's buying up hundreds of millions or billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin, or starting a Wink custody service, and they're also buying it up themselves. So without, clearly the news isn't important that one investment fund bought billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. Bitcoin's market, I think Bitcoin's market cap is like, was it 600 billion, 700 billion? That's a huge portion of Bitcoin for one fund. There was a chart, and I have it somewhere on my phone. I'll maybe try and post it on Twitter or something like that later. It was like a little, so like each, like see my mouse right here, the little arrow? It was like one person. It was like, thousands of people standing side by side, and it showed exactly, of all the entire world's population, how many people could actually, if they wanted to, own an entire Bitcoin. And there were two little people right here, because we're, 7.4 billion people, 21 million Bitcoin. And it was just two little things right here. And that's based off of if people could actually own one entire Bitcoin, with there only being 21 million. And these funds are buying up 15,000 Bitcoin at one time. I know that some of you understand the urgency and hear it in my voice, but the amount of people who really don't get it is quite staggering. It's actually kind of scary that you would have something so in your face and people just would be like, I don't see it. Anyway, multi-billion-dollar Bitcoin investment. Let's move on. And to finish things off, this is actually, it could be happy news, but it's kind of sad at the exact same time. For those of you who weren't here in like 2012 or 2013, maybe even 14, there was a guy, and I felt really bad for him because he was all over the news. This guy basically was in his house one day. He's like, oh, I need a new computer. He went outside, bought a brand new computer, started using that one. Was like, I don't need the old junk anymore. And threw his old computer away. And then during the day, he realized that that was the computer that he was using and had used years ago to mine Bitcoin. And he basically, for those of you not looking at the screen, he threw away 7,500 Bitcoin. Even back then, that was a lot of money. He ran to the local trash heap and was like, hey, something came here about an hour ago. And the guy was like, yeah, all that stuff is already destroyed. So for those of you who don't know how trash pickup and garbage collection actually works, what happens is they pick it up and then they throw it into a landfill. So it's never like actually destroyed. It's simply like placed somewhere else. So this is why we have a problem in the air smells. There's a company who actually is partnering with this guy, and they said that they're going to actually try and help him find it. So the British man who accidentally threw away a computer with 7,500 bitcoins on his hard drive has come up with a new plan to retrieve his lost coins. And at this point, I hope he finds them. And I mean that in the most honest way. Can you imagine how happy? Listen, imagine you had 300 Bitcoin. You threw it away somewhere, you couldn't find it. One day you went to your grandfather's house, you're looking through stuff. Lo and behold, there's a hard drive with your name on it, and it has 300 Bitcoin. How happy would you be? If this man finds his hard drive, he is going to be the happiest human on this planet. And I explicitly hope that he finds that happiness. They said that we estimate that there are between 300,000 and 400,000 tons of waste to look through. James Howells, an IT engineer who actually accidentally threw away the hard drive of an old computer containing 7,500 Bitcoin in 2013. It was a very weird day. Has now given up his quest to retrieve his coins. A 35-year, wow, he's only 35. From the city of Newport, has shared with his son. I don't feel like reading anymore. Basically, he's going to be using X-ray scanning devices and AI technology, and I think maybe also drones to actually scan things and conveyor belts and all this other stuff like that. So, hope he finds it. Same exact thing with that other guy. Who was the other guy? I think the other guy forgot his password or something like that on his computer. I think that's what it was, and I think he had like one more attempt between until the whole thing kind of like locked him out. Once again, make sure your money's not all in one place. Same exact thing with investing. If you have $1 billion, you don't simply sleep on a bed of $1 billion. You have property, you may have gold, you have crypto, you have other assets, you have this, you have that, you have art. Anyway, hope he finds it, because I think that would also make my day for him. I would legitimately be happy for him, because, you know, it has to not be a good day every single day to wake up and know that you lost hundreds of millions of dollars. I'm sure you don't sleep too well. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters, Professor Wally from Gunbot University, Fudd, Wiser, Mortified, Roman, Gaba, Bitcoin, Ben Arachno, Dave, Tony Ambroski, The Dealer's Den, Red Plum, Tomato, Umnu, Wishnicki, The Letter M, Stephen Dirks, Not Brain, Captain Something in the Z-Way Lay, Crypto Black Sheep, AJ Cut 5, Speedy655, and Carlos Was Like, Mobarazzi, Jojo Shawshow, VB Nerd 21, Miguel Grolay, Lauren De Silva, Quoted Biddy, Bare Bones Mining, Troy Allgood, Space Case, Need a Miracle, Paternoster, Conan Don't Skip Leg Day, Snacky Chan, Tolik Banana, Auspicious Agile and Blockchain, Navarro Williams, David James, Attila the Han, Yasha Harari, Utopia 569, Moonman High, XRP, Martin Steuer, Nostromo, John Sarson, The Anima Reader, Ebibiaphobia, Todd Mullis, Adam Graysick, Mo Hamaroni, Massive Ventures in Thailand, Jared Schneider, Wise Night Owl, 242 to the World, Bankroll Network, Crypto Artist, Coldy 3D, Damien, Setsuna, Richie Richard III, Vlad the Impaler, Pax. I said Richie Richard III so fast, it was like Rich Richard III. Vlad the Impaler, Paxis, Nick Mangialavori, Jim Garner, Jeremy Fox, Minting Coins, Miller Hitch Test Every Day, and Cal Skips Leg Day. Yes to Crypto, Bodie McBoatface, Anytime Fitness, Mosh Corner Staff, Bake Me a Cake, Tigger, Macho Nisa, All Crypto with Lionel, Crayla, Michelle, URL, and Bolero Bastos. Thank you all very, very much for your support. Sorry that I didn't say them with as much enthusiasm as I normally do. It's been hot. It's summertime. I've been sleeping with the fan directly on me for about a good couple of weeks now. And it has affected my throat. Like, it's very, very dry. Not that you need to know the exact details, but it's more to explain to you why some parts of the video may have been a bit, you know, more lull than usual. It's because it just hurts. I mean, I sleep like directly on my face so that I'm not like basically sweating at nighttime. But you're breathing in all that dry air, and it's not the best thing for you. At the moment, Bitcoin is up by 2.5%. It is at $34,293. I posted that photo yesterday on Twitter. I don't know if all of you saw it. It was basically a photo being like just waiting for Bitcoin to hit 1 million. I saw so many articles yesterday. They were like, well, you know, how much longer can Bitcoin trend between 33 and 35,000? Like at some point there has to be an actual breaking point. Ethereum is up by 2%. Binance Coin is up by 5%. XRP is up by 4%. Everything is up. It's not a dramatic up, but it's still nice to wake up to a green day. Everyone's just waiting for Bitcoin. Bitcoin is at some point going to make a mega move. And I will be completely honest with you. And I know it sounds stupid. It's either going to be a move up or a move down. All right, everybody, this is a great video. Have a great day. No, Bitcoin is either going to skyrocket up in price because we are in this trading range, or we are going to fall down to the levels that JP Morgan said would be more attractive for buyers, which I believe was $29,000. Who knows? I'm going to shrug. We know long term this is going to be a gigantic behemoth of a juggernaut in the financial world. But at the moment, it's just simply, somebody posted something. It was from, oh gosh, it was like a time traveler who went back to, I think 2014 or something like that, and he was panicking. And he's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it, Bitcoin just crashed. And the person in the past is like, what do you mean Bitcoin's crashed? Like, how high is Bitcoin? He's like, Bitcoin's only at $35,000, and they have like a $100 Bitcoin, and they're like, Bitcoin crashed at 34,000, and people are upset. Like, even keeping in mind last year, Bitcoin was at $3,000 after 19, madness and stuff like that. So we're still doing extremely well for any asset over the course of a year. We were 3,000, we're now 34,000. But everyone, we know that we can hit 60,000. So everyone's kind of anticipating this once again, especially since we've had so much accumulation from institutions and from banks and from hedge funds and from family offices and even from people like you over the last 3 months. Bitcoin has to do something major. We know that the fundamentals are there. We know that the hash rate has dropped because of what's its place, telling people to turn off their computers, but these computers are being moved to other countries. They're moving to other places where they're legally able to do so, and they already have the certification to be able to do so. But it's just a matter of, it finally happening. So there will be a major move. It could be as we get closer to the Grayscale unlocking, with institutions trying to continuously scare people to scare off their coins, to get them to sell off their coins, and then the prices drop, and then we get news a day and a half later that institutions bought up all those coins. Or it could simply be that this is finally the moment, because the stock to flow ratio chart and also the Wyckoff are basically saying, hey, movement upward at this point. But the cryptocurrency space is so unpredictable. I get really happy when people not only subscribe, but also have been in this space for like a good 2 or 3 months, so you really understand how crazy this market is, because it's good for you and for me to not have to explain a lot of things when you really understand not only how volatile it is, but that it's not a get rich quick scheme. It may take years for us to get to where we're trying to get to, but you understand the market patterns, and I assume EOS is up by 11% because of the EOS people bullish trying to go public. Anything else really up? Aave is up by 9%, crypto tokens up by 5%, Shiba Inu is up by 3%, OKB is up by 12%, Pancake is up by 5%, FTT is up by 6%, Tezos is up by roughly 6% if you round up. Yeah. We'll see what the day takes us. I do hope you all enjoyed. I do hope that you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope that it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.